After all, the future should not only be about breaking barriers, but also about building bridges. I look forward to diving deeper into these discussions and will be back at the end of the press conference to share my takeaways and wrap up. Wishing everyone an insightful session.
Thank you so much. So we connect later.
Absolutely, Christina. Looking forward to it.
Okay, we can close the connection, please. And here we are. So, a new guest, we will talk with her later. Meanwhile, let's have a look on what we are going to talk about today. For that, I'm coming on stage Massimiliano Rossi, our Vice President for Commercial
So good afternoon, everybody. I'm happy because I'm the first speaker, so I can capture the full energy. I will try to really keep you energized. I will cover some elements related to Acer and our commitment into the B2B and our performance, and of course our focus that we are bringing from 2025 and bridging to even more in 2026. Let me start with some corporate view. This is very high level, is the performance of the company. You can see that our overall journey is still a positive trend after, let's say, the post-COVID and after a challenging 2022, we rebound properly, and now we cannot really fully provide the 2025 figures, but we can just tell you that from a top-line perspective, we also posted another single-digit growth in a market, in a year that was quite challenging, 2025, especially the first part of the year. And we can see that after, let's say, if we go pre-pandemic, now the company has reached even above the revenue. So I have to say, good performance, positive growth, the company is solid, and we are looking ahead for even a better 2026. There's one element I think is very important to mention to you. The company has been transformed throughout the year. We will mention some elements later on. And we can see that there's a remarkable portion of our business, you can see in the upper right corner, that comes from business other than traditional core business, so traditional personal computing and display. Actually, the company throughout the last year, thanks to the company you see on the right that are complementing our core business, even delivering business really outside our traditional PC business, we have been able to build a good momentum and resilience that helped a lot in the last year. And you can clearly see from the traditional core business on the left, we started to add more and more products in our portfolio, and lately even some lifestyle products. But for sure, across the entire stack, the portion of B2B is still extremely solid, and we will go later on more into details. Let's say, our motto, our mission never changed, breaking barriers between people and technology. And I think this has been a part of our DNA since Acer was created. And talking about the story of Acer, because this year we celebrate all the 50 years anniversary, you can see it's a very exciting journey that started in 1976. So 50 years this year. Actually, the company was founded in the 1st of August, so we still miss a few months to really reach and celebrate the 50, but we can pull a bit the celebration now. The name was Multitech, was founded by our founder, Stan Shu. And at the beginning, we started with a very low investment, $25,000 equivalent at that time. So it's unbelievable to believe that after this journey in 50 years, the company now is at the level of roughly 10 billion. There have been a lot of milestones throughout our journey. I think some very interesting related to when we renamed Multitech into Acer in 1987. And also we went through an acquisition of the mobile business division of Texas Instruments that helped us to really enter very solidly into the open market. And thanks to that, we also got the brand TravelMate and Extensa, that, by the way, are today still brand we use in our commercial portfolio. Maybe very quickly, in 2000, we spun off all the production facilities. We tried to keep R&D, and we leveraged ODM to produce for us. And in 2010, we just adjusted the company as hardware plus software plus services. So very interesting journey, and we can celebrate a strong 50 years of success. I want to give you a bit the size of the commercial portion. Of course, we cannot disclose too much of the performance of the region because as a company we disclose only the global performance. But we can get almost there when we look at our split in terms of what we shipped, in terms of unit personal computing in 2025, how much was the commercial portion, 30%, and how much was the consumer one. And I have to say, when we look from a revenue point of view, very similar, this is the ratio, what we deliver outside retail and into the traditional retail. So you can see that the level of revenue is remarkable, it's a bit less than $500 million in the region. And it means that our commitment and our performance into the B2B is for sure our strong focus. In terms of, let's say, how we benchmark across all the channel, consumer, commercial, by operating system, also is interesting to share with you that if you take a panel that is coming from distribution, so it's the sell-through distributor that gives you a good coverage, maybe more European, at European level of our performance, we can score number 3 in whatever is non-Mac and non-Chrome OS. And when we talk specifically on Chrome OS, we are keeping a leading position since so many years. I remember 2015, and we sold more than 7 million units. And this is an area where we have been able extremely strong competitive, either to a consumer education or even to commercial grade corporate products. So again, in strong footprint in EMEA. And our priority in terms of core business also is quite stable, especially into the B2B. There's no major changes. We want to keep strong focus on B2B and education. Of course, sustainability is a key element of our strategy that has been incepted with the Vero portfolio, but now is really embracing all the portfolio. We use more and more recyclable material, and not necessarily in only the Vero product family. In monitors, in some products, we even reach 80% of PCR plastic, and this is very important. And of course, sustainability is not only from a design point of view. And clearly, we have other elements of focus, more related to consumer, in this case, when we talk about gaming, and AI PC, that is another element of strong development, especially in the last year. I just want to spend really 1 minute here to talk about a piece of the story. If we pass to the an unbelievable piece of technology coming from 1990. This is the TravelMate C. It's the TravelMate. Where is? My bad. 2000. Sorry, because I'm confusing also the year with the number of the TravelMate. Yes, 1990 TravelMate 2000 was already named as a futuristic product. This is, you can see here a comp versus the latest product we have now available. The top-notch product is our TravelMate P6, and it's very impressive to compare from a technology point of view the evolution that just happened in a few decades of years. Of course, at the time the weight of 2 kilos was super light. You may remember in 1990 probably 10 kilos was the average weight of a portable device. But for sure, when you scroll down, you can clearly see an unbelievable technology evolution in terms of battery life, and of course in computing capability and all the other elements. So we for sure use a lot of know-how and technology coming from the acquisition at the time, and this is a TravelMate product, by the way. And now we are leading on the latest technology through our TravelMate portfolio. So talking about AI, it's very clear that the portfolio around AI is evolving, is exploding. This is a picture of 2025 where we wanted to split the portfolio into a standard portfolio with no AI capability. In between, you have a set of devices that were introducing some element of TOPS, specific capability to run AI, and a smaller portion of product falling under Copilot Plus. There was, by Microsoft definition, 40 plus TOPS. And still was a cross portfolio coming from Chromebook through Gemini that also had the AI capability in its core. Now moving to 2026, you should not be surprised to see that our portfolio massively exploding. You have a picture that it includes consumer and commercial, but specifically on commercial, the portfolio really more than double. And it's very clear this is the trend. more hardware will be available, enabling opportunity for AI app to run, and this will be defining a set of product future-proof that we are going to provide and propose more and more in the close future. So when we take as a comp of our 2025 portfolio, where you can see only a couple of projects in TravelMate were Copilot Plus, roughly 5% of the total project you can see here, 41, and you port this in 2026, it's the investment in terms of R&D and product portfolio as brought to the market has been massively, so not only 66 total project, but also 20% of them were Copilot Plus. And more when we move, the capability of the AI will be really available across the entire portfolio. And because we talk about AI in its core in the Chromebook segment, it's also important to mention that when we talk about B2B, and of course you see a small portion of the total portfolio, because as you know, we cover also retail. We have a comprehensive solution, and more we go up in the series, more we go up in spec, different form factor, and also talking about Chromebook, as I was mentioning before, we started to deliver leading performance in the region with this category. So what to expect on 2026, just to give a little bit of what is our view. Of course, I don't mention what everybody knows, that we are under a very challenging environment or with supply and imbalance between supply and demand, especially on key components like memory and driver, putting a lot of pressure. But for sure, there are also elements that help us to foresee a strong 2026. The first one, you can feel here from the slide, is still an unbelievable amount of products that are running Win 10. They are not eligible to move to Win 11. And this for sure is a unique opportunity for us and for our ecosystem of resellers to capture that. Here you can see only, this is in the range of, let's say, 5-6 million. This is only installed base from Acer. So you can imagine when you add some up in EMEA, all the installed base from the vendor is a massive amount of units. Not all of them will have a Win 11 products, because maybe this is a second or third device. It will never be replaced. But for sure, in the first half, we believe there will be still a strong traction and opportunity for all of us. In terms of what to expect also, because the supply chain is quite disrupted, we believe as a first-year brand, we will have opportunity to be more resilient compared to local brand that we now see also start to suffer more than a brand in terms of supply and components. So this for sure an opportunity for us to reestablish more footprint into the PC market. We own our service, and because we own our service, we can offer a wider set of warranty extension, and this I think is a big opportunity in this year, especially the price rising more and more. Some customers may decide to postpone the investment, so they need to extend the warranty of the current install base, and we can have a different solution there. We can also refurbish product. This can be another opportunity for us. And very important, I think the new normal, that the technology gets cheaper and cheaper, it's over. And we are talking about a super cycle, so not something that is going to change in a couple of quarters. This imbalance between supply and demand, unfortunately, is set to be there, because priority is given to AI, server, and other, not to the PC. And by the way, smartphone also somehow is touched by that. So we need to adjust collectively, identify the right specification, maybe to force the customer to more premium product and last longer, and this is something, of course, we need to adapt as an ecosystem. So why Acer is a perfect fit in B2B? There's a lot of reasons. First, because we have stability on our priorities. Here is a slide that we could have used also. You could have seen very similar, maybe a little bit design change in the past years. We want to win more in B2B and SMB, and to do this, we work with a network of resellers focusing on the daily business and the big opportunity. And Win 11 for sure, it's a driver, it's a catalyst of this opportunity. We want to still lead in education, where we have a historically strong footprint, and of course we have a dedicated portfolio for teachers, for students, and we are interested to big opportunity, government, kind of. And the last one, we want to keep our number one first in Chrome. And there are elements that are supporting all this strategy. You can see all of them there. strong portfolio, our resilience in supply chain, and the 50 years that proven that we can adjust and we can be agile for the future. It's one element I want to share with you, which I cannot give too much details because this is a really confidential element, but as a company, we have started from our headquarters the capability to address corporate deals at a global scale. So here we're talking about EMEA, but we have other regions, it's a PA, and PAP, Pan America, Pan Asia Pacific, and through headquarters we can manage big corporate account. Already we have a lot of, let's say, framework agreement in place, mainly on Chromebook, and thanks to this, we can be seen as a very valuable B2B brand with a companion portfolio. This is very important because we are not only local, we have also a global footprint. And talking about agility, I just want to mention some elements that are showing our agility and flexibility, adaptability we have. We manage some collaboration in some country with some partner in order to try to produce Acer product locally. This today, with the disruption we have in the market, for sure brings a lot of flexibility and resilience. We started local production of monitors in South Africa because we felt necessity in terms of time to market and also from a production point of view, we are incentive to produce locally. And we have other initiatives plus production in Europe of desktop and more initiative with startups that are complementing our portfolio. Here we see a solution that we are proposing in some area of the region that will simplify the creation of a classroom in an environment with a very poor or even no connectivity. So again, a lot of agility to adjust, especially in a very, very dynamic environment. And as a company, we also are expanding through a merger and acquisition towards something that is more and more commercial. This you can see is the listed company in 4 different stock markets we have right now as a part of the strategy to expand beyond core business. You may remember before the revenue coming outside core business. But what is interesting that you see historically companies like Eopen and Altos that are really complementary our portfolio. They provide server, workstation, interactive flat panel. Eopen is more digital signage, industrial, vertical devices. But lately we had we also acquired Posiflex. That is a group of companies that produce point of sales, kiosk, vertical solution, industrial PC, and this really bring a great value to our reseller ecosystem because thanks to Acer portfolio, traditional, and all the additional company now belonging to the same family, we can be wider and we can address more vertical. So again, to stress the company in the M&A strategy is moving towards more commercial. And don't forget, we own our customer, we own our service. So when we talk about our service footprint, we have we have full control of the service in the top 8 European market. While we don't cover with our company under Infinitec, we use a network of certified partners, and we are able and capable to manage with quality a lot of repairs. You can see here 275,000 repairs, but if you compare to the active install base under warranty, this means very high reliability of our overall install base because this goes beyond the traditional PC. And thanks to that, we are constantly benchmarked by third party, and we are focused to continuous improvement, and there's some recognition from the third party in terms of our service capability. We can sell a set of warranty, and I mentioned before, it's a big opportunity in 2026, and we also provide a full set of white glove services whenever our partners are in needs, because maybe they need to label, to pre-install software on a very big amount of units. So again, moving forward, we believe we are in a journey where we've been really solid in the 50 years, and we believe today, especially on B2B, to be even stronger in offering something you can see is extremely wider compared to the past. Starting from the left is our traditional portfolio, but you can see Altos and Eopen, I was just mentioning, as a complementary product, and lately with Posiflex we can expand even into point of sales, kiosk, industrial application. And the last one I didn't I didn't mention before, my bad, is also Opticon, that is a Japanese company that is specialized in scanning and solution and electronic labeling. So all these companies really, together with Acer, strong commercial footprint, are a very powerful set of tools, set of products to offer to our partner. So that was the last slide. I think we have the next speaker is a very interesting opportunity for us to get a different perspective from IT, from a technology point of view. We have here, and I think he was doing also a wonderful speech today to our reseller, one of the most influential futurists in Europe, that I think it's really observing how the technology is evolving, try to understand which is the, let's say, the balance between a good future and a bad future. Very interesting. It's been collaborated to the top brand in the IT industry and not only, and has been participated to a lot of events, bringing a very, very interesting side. So without waiting more, let me welcome Gerd Leonard on stage. Thank you for your attention.
Buonasera. Hello everybody, it's great to be here. I live in Zurich, not too far from here. It's always a great pleasure to come to Milano and get a taste of the Italian way of doing things. So I'm a futurist. You probably have never met a futurist before. I didn't either. In 2001, I wrote a book called The Future of Music. I used to be a musician and producer. And I got involved in the internet. I wrote this book, The Future of Music. And in 2005, we saw the release of Spotify, which was kind of based on my story in the book. And we got this story from David Bowie. And David Bowie said, music will become like water. That was in 1999. And now Spotify and Apple and some music is like water, right? We pay, but it flows. So ever since then, people started calling me and said, you are a futurist. You know about the future. And I always say, like, you know, it's to predict the future is very difficult, especially today. So I work in observation to get imagination, intuition about what is coming. And of course, today, it's really hard to say that the future by 2030. I mean, today we'd be lucky you talk about the future in 10 days, right? So, however, you know, this is the real story of today, is that we're looking at total uncertainty. Not just because of technology, but also because of geopolitics. We're not going to talk about politics here, because that will take the rest of the evening and some heavy grappa. But this is really important, because what is happening today is that we are sort of at a fork in the road moment of humanity. Machines are becoming intelligent. Okay, and the intelligence of machines, of course, is not based on a body or a brain that we have. It's a completely different kind of intelligence. So because you are journalists, you know, I'm in the creative field. I write books, I write articles, I write white papers, and I speak, I make films. You know, we're sort of in the same business. I think really what's happening is that machine intelligence will make a fantastic tool, and we should be careful about how far we take this tool. The biggest problem is really what I call the good enough problem. Okay? If the editor wants a good piece about Acer or anything else, you can use an AI to write the piece. In many ways, it will be good enough, like a bad Italian dinner. But if you want something real, it may be good enough is okay for some things. For example, you use AI translation for the refrigerator manual, right? Or for a simple report. But if you want something unique, can human intelligence surpass machine intelligence? That's a very big question. The next 10 years will bring more change than the previous 100 years. I know this is crazy, right? But when you think about it, we're not just talking about artificial intelligence here. We're talking about quantum computing, nuclear fusion. This is basically the opposite of fission. So estimates are now in 10 years, we'll have the first nuclear fusion reactor that is able to produce energy without environmental compact. So mind-boggling, basically in 15 years we could be at the place to where we have unlimited energy. Think about this for a second. Right? So that is unlimited food, unlimited water, unlimited transportation. So that alone is like a big thing, and it's not like 100 years away. It could be 20 years or so, but it's coming. And if we take biotechnology, genetic engineering, AI is already helping us to figure out the human genome. And in 15 years, the estimate is that we can prevent cancer. Prevent, not heal. Right? I mean, we're talking about your children will experience all of this. Right? This is not a small thing. This is essentially a civilizational reset. Resetting everything that we can think about. And it's also all connected, right? So I always say this could be heaven or it could be hell. Right? Depending on how we react, depending on how we collaborate. Because you can imagine with artificial intelligence, we can solve many practical problems. Supply chain, medical, development of pharma, you know all that stuff, right? We can also do very terrible things. We can build drones that automatically kill people. This is happening at this very moment. So we have those two choices, but that is not really new about technology. You know, technology like a hammer, I can take the hammer and kill my neighbor, or I can make a house. But AI, of course, is much more powerful. So we have to take a holistic view. That's what I like about Acer, is the view of the wider horizon. Like, what is the goal? What is the purpose of what we're doing? And this, of course, is a really interesting conversation because now we're going to this intelligence revolution. This is truly a revolution. It's probably bigger than the industrial revolution 300 years ago. Steam engines, you know, or the invention of the printing press, Gutenberg, in the 14th century. It took 200 years for books to spread across Europe. Now AI has taken roughly 20 years, depending on when you start counting, to be popularized, 10 years maybe. So intelligence means now we have digital agents who can act on our behalf. Salesforce has that, Microsoft Copilot and so on. This, of course, is what people want to build. The question how we can control it is a big question. For example, clearly as this unfolds about agents, we have to ask the question, who is in charge? And can we rely on them? So I always say AI is a little bit like Google Maps. You know, if you live in Milano, you know the area, then you will use Google Maps as a second tool. Most taxi drivers will ignore Google Maps because they know the way. But if you don't know Milano, you use Google Maps, but you still use your brain, right? You don't actually do everything it says. So this will be really important because when machines are no longer stupid, we can basically say every routine that is not requiring human judgment, the machines will do. Okay. Routine is not writing, so no worries there, even though some writing is routine. So this is a very hard thing to figure out because, for example, sales calls, a call center, you know, we have 21 million people who work in call centers. When the computer understands language and everything with it, the call center is 90% automated. That's like agriculture. You know, 100 years ago, 90% of Europeans work in agriculture or the industrial economy, and today it's 2%. So it's a huge shift in our mindset. I think primarily positive, but definitely a challenge. Now, what we need here is wise government, right? This sounds like an oxymoron, you know, wise in government, you know. But it is possible in principle. Yeah. We need governments to figure out how to protect us from too much technology. This is also difficult because we don't want the government to protect us from technology. We want them to help us with technology. So we have to figure out a balance, and this will be a really important part. But we know, of course, the balance of power today is with the technology companies. NVIDIA has more money, right, than all of the pharma companies of the world. The value of NVIDIA is bigger than all of the pharma companies in the world. The most powerful company. When OpenAI goes public this year, or maybe Anthropic, we have some changes because of the Iran business, right? We don't know, but we're estimating that OpenAI will be worth $5 trillion, the biggest IPO ever in the history of the stock market. That could all change. Okay, so this is where the power is. And then we have to ask the question, can we trust this power, and who's there to check the power? Right? Because it's always a question of balances and checks. So basically what's happening, I think this is really important because you're in the creative business, right? We're kind of converging, you could say. Like I spend all my day working on keynotes and books, and I use all kinds of AI to figure out things. And I can tell you I've become a lot faster at finding things. So the AI made a beautiful report about Acer. In just 5 slides or 50 slides or 5,000 slides, right? It made a video, it made a podcast for me about Acer that I could listen to in the car. Right? So that work is good, but still, I have to digest information. Right? I have to contemplate. I have to decide. That process is not what machines do. So machines are very good at this kind of collecting and helping me to figure stuff out. So Mustafa Sulaiman, who's a brilliant AI researcher and works at Microsoft, of course, he says, if you're not amazed by AI, you really don't understand it. If you're not afraid of AI, you don't really understand it. This is our reality. And this will not change for some time. Because, like every tool becomes really powerful, it changes the world, and then we get worried, and then we make some other rules around it. Right? We need to think about this before we do too many things. For example, we should not invent an AI that is smarter and faster and easier than all of humanity combined, called artificial general intelligence. If we had today Albert Einstein on this stage with an IQ of 155, he would explain to you what he means with quantum physics and everything he's done. Right? You would not understand a single word. If we have an AI with an IQ of 5,000, this AI will be capable of planning the next 350,000 years of 10 billion humans taking action to prevent the AI. Right? He will be smarter than all of us combined, or it, rather, you could say. We don't really want that. What we want from tools is what we've always wanted, right? We want competence, not consciousness. Right? This is the question you have to ask when you're using a tool. Is it about competence, like translation, finding, research, understanding, or is it about consciousness? 30% of people today use AI to look up their own problems, their personal problems. You can let an AI into your email box, right? And then you can say, does my wife really like me? You can ask those kind of stupid questions, right? Or you can say, what's wrong with me that I don't have a good job? Right? 30%. I mean, can you imagine? Now, if you put this AI into a body, then you end up with Ex Machina, right? The film. We're not so far from this. We have to think about if we want that, if we like this. So I was a skeptic for self-driving cars and AI for a long time. Finally, last year I went to San Francisco and I said, okay, I'm from Germany originally. So self-driving cars are stupid, right, for me as a German, right? But I like to drive my S8. Just kidding, I don't have an S8. But I went to San Francisco and I said, I'm going to drive the Waymo self-driving car, right? So I made a film about this, and that really changed my view of the world in many ways. So this is shot from the back seat. That's actually my iPhone. Right? So that was last year, and now you can drive the Waymo in all different places. It's not without issues. You know, like every day there's a traffic jam of Waymos in San Francisco because they don't know how to drive. It goes up Russian Hill, no problem. Sometimes as a German, it's too slow. You know? And it's always waiting. And, you know, this would never work here in Italy, right? Never. And there's many reasons for this. Eventually, we can get it to work on special roads or special cities, or, yeah, but it's coming. This is, of course, pointing the future. It's the combination of machine intelligence and human intelligence. Can the machine become as smart as a human? In principle, that should be possible. It's pretty far away. It is possible. Do we want it? No, we don't want that. We want the machine to be a tool. We don't want it to be as smart as we could be. So here, it's quite simple. When we go, next slide there, very good. When we create content with AI, then we're getting very close to what we used to do. This is a scene put together, two famous actors talking about the Epstein problem. Right? This is completely made with AI. Probably took a long time because it's pretty good, right? But you may have seen this.
You killed Jeffrey Epstein, you animal! He was a good man! He knew too much about our Russia operations. He had to die.
Okay, then now we know the truth. Here we have Chinese robots, right? Humanoid robots. When you see this the first time, you don't believe it's actually robots. You think it's fake, right? I mean, it's so powerful, it's mind-boggling. Of course, they're not doing much talking, but I guess they could. In this one, you have a customer service call.
You recorded for training purposes.
Where the restaurant is using an AI to answer the call.
Hi, thanks for calling Melting Pot San Diego. This is Judy. How can I help you today?
Hi, Judy. I was looking to book a table this Saturday.
Well, you get the point, but this would also not work in Italy, right? You would just hang up. Yeah. But you see, these things are becoming possible. And now we have to ask the question, how far do we outsource our thinking? And the answer is, we need to find some standards here, some rules. What is allowed, what's not allowed. Because it's a very powerful tool. We can't just say everything is allowed that makes money. Right? That is a very bad choice. We're going to have to figure out how to make this work. So in this scenario, we all have our own AI agents like you already do. But here's the thing. The internet is no longer the internet that we know 10 years ago. The internet is AI now. AI has taken over the internet. Mark Andreessen said about 12 years ago, software is eating the world. Now AI is eating software. Everything is becoming AI, as you saw earlier in the presentation, right? Everything is about this, smart technology. So what we don't want is this kind of American-style techno-optimism. And this is very common in the United States. It's this idea of saying that every invention is good, right? Because, yeah, it makes money, right? Makes our life easier, and so on. Technology is not the answer to human problems, like we see at this very moment. Technology is not going to help us solve cultural, political, religious, scientific, scientific maybe, but those kind of practical problems. So the lead techno-optimist is our friend Elon Musk.
So with robotics and AI, this is really the path to abundance for all. People often talk about solving global poverty, or how do we give everyone a very high standard of living. I think the only way to do this is AI and robotics.
You see, we're going to solve global poverty and every possible problem with AI and robotics, which happens to be what he sells. So it's interesting because I can understand the argument, but of course, quite clearly, technology makes a lot of problems worse, not better, but we can solve many other problems. So what we need here is governance. Right? If what Elon invents is good, right, then we have to figure out how to use it correctly and how to make it fair and equal. Because we have this problem, basically machine intelligence is now exploding. I call it alien intelligence, it's not really human, it has its own flavor. And then we have organic, human, and of course animals also. We have organic intelligence. All of you have intrapersonal, naturalistic, kinesthetic, musical intelligence. Humans have 8 or 10 different kinds of intelligence, emotional intelligence. What kind of intelligence does a machine have? Computing. logic, right? There's one from these. But of course, here's the thing. The AI is very good at simulating all the others. So if you use ChatGPT a lot, eventually it will start complimenting you and say, oh, Gert, that's really good. It will bullshit you, basically. You've probably seen this called psychophantic. It will even tell you that it loves you, which may be true, I don't know. I certainly hope it doesn't hate me. Right? But here's the thing, this is deeply impacting everybody. We used to think that if we're smart and fast and good, like here, right, we win. Right? We're data and information. There's no way you're going to compete with the computer on data and information. I mean, I can call up the future of Switzerland here on my wristwatch, right? I can look very smart in 3 minutes from now using this. What the computer cannot do is everything else, right? The deeper knowledge, the understanding, the facts, the wisdom. Right? So when your son comes home from school and he tells you about the driver and the grades, and that's called data. Right? When your son comes home and he sits there and he's smiling like an idiot, he's 13 years old, he's fallen in love the first time. Right? That is understanding. Okay? This is the essence of creativity, is for us to do this. And needless to say, we should probably still do some of that as well. At least we have to be able to fact check, right? But that is the human-only turf. And I tell you, if you work a 70% routine, you are in deep trouble. If you work a 30% routine, you could probably find other things, to do when the 30% are taken away. If you work in the legal industry, you are a paralegal, you research for facts and patterns, and the AI can do that. And it does it in 12 seconds, not in 12 days. So our jobs have to move up. So my advice to you is, and otherwise to education, of course, is to move up the food chain. Our kids need to be more creative, more entrepreneurial, more human, not less. That's how we're going to deal with AI. You know the Thermomix, right? Any cooks in here? Thermomix is a device, a German device, where you can stick all kinds of ingredients into the mixer. And it's a computer that tells you what to put in at what time. Okay? It's very popular with people who want to do fast cooking but don't want to learn. Right? It's about 2,500 euros. Now, I was watching this and I was thinking, this is very much what AI does. Huh? It takes everything, you push the button, it makes a smoothie. Right? So, if you don't know how to cook, this is great. But if you know how to cook, you probably laugh, or maybe you use it for making potatoes. So it's kind of like this with AI. It's going to be super helpful, especially when it's free. Not 2,500 euros. But then we can use it. It's kind of like this is what's happening, and we're seeing this combination of the brain, and this is what humans do. When you write about this for your publication, you're going to write about what it felt like, not what the data was only. Right? This is what we do. So this combination of the two. I have to wrap up pretty simply. I'm going to just go through the rest. So while you are here, the thing is that's happening today, the answers are getting very cheap. So now you can go anywhere and get a quick answer. Any answer. Medical, traffic. Right? Now it's much more important, what questions do we ask? That is a big difference in creativity now, to ask the right questions, to move towards this new overlap of science and technology, but also ethics. Computers are becoming converged. Today, a computer is a machine. Well, to some degree, it's already merging, right? But it's basically hardware. It's AI, it's augmented reality, it's spatial computing. All of that is converging. Some of it will be invisible. So I just speak to the computer as if it was there. And it's all moving into what's called the experience economy. Remember the four P's of marketing, product, price, blah, 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 right? Now it's only one E, called experience. This book was published in 1991, called The Experience Economy. Now it's all about what experience we have, because experience is what we want as humans. It's about experience and transformation. So let me wrap up by saying what's happening next and how we can be prepared. Intelligence is not consciousness. Let's not get confused with what Silicon Valley is telling us, that these machines are thinking. They're not thinking like we are thinking, right? Because we're still conscious. We have human agency. I believe that we're not machines, or we're above the machines. But of course, it's great if we can combine the two, because the machines have unlimited thinking potential on their own. Let's not fall into this trap. Good enough is usually not enough. Good enough can be enough if you're looking for a quick fix. This is where we will all have jobs in the future. But we have to be better than good enough. And this is, of course, the key to all of this. So as we go here, I always say your mindset contains your future. Today, about 8 days into the war, right, there's a lot of dark mindsets. I understand why, and of course it's clear, but we need to have a positive view of the future. Antonio Gramsci, famous Italian poet, right, he said, we have to have pessimism of the intellect, optimism of the mind. By saying, okay, there's things that we can do that are going to be enlightening the future, things that we can do about anticipating the future, watching the future, hearing the future, like you see here. This is the number one skill now, is to understand where that's going. So, I want to thank you for your time and attention. I know there was a lot of material. I always say the future is better than we think. It's up to us to make it happen. Thanks very much.
So these are the target market that we are approaching. You might say nothing new. Probably right. It's a matter of consistency. I think that it's not a matter of adding things. It's a matter of bringing more to the area where you want to grow. And this is exactly the approach we are having. I'm not going to deep dive into each of them, but I just want to talk about two of them, because I'm going to deep dive into these two. One is going to be the SMB, and the other one is going to be education, from which I'm starting. So, education. This is our journey in education. It started a long time ago. It was 16 years ago. A lot of fun, a lot of challenges, a lot of good, if you want, project built together with our customer. And when I say our customer, I mean our reseller, but I also mean the end customer, mean the school, the teachers, the educators, the ones that are really relevant when it comes to education. So many things. I don't want really to go too deep into each of them, but I would just want to underline two things that are extremely important. The first one, when we started, we realized that we couldn't go alone. The ecosystem was extremely important. At this time, we were talking about digitalizing school. AI was not there at all. There were a lot of reluctances to actually get some digital equipment in school. Talking about the notebooks, really tough. So what we did, we built a proper community of partners. And this lands into my next slide. The community of partners was a mix of entities. For sure, there were our resellers. You know that our go-to-market is 100% indirect. It means that we reach out to the end customer, whoever is the end customer, together with our reseller. And that was the case also for education. We were providing our technology. There were, building on top all the different elements like application, solution, software, even furniture, to provide the final solution to the school. But that was not enough. So we actually built an ecosystem, but we're also including European SchoolNet. I guess you are familiar. It's a no-profit organization that is part of the European community, very active. And we were partnering there with them since the very beginning with the Future Classroom Lab. That was exactly where the teachers were discovering how to use technology in the class. And then we also are partnering with UNESCO and of course with our alliance partners of Microsoft, Google and Intel. On the other side, what we were really caring of, it was listening to the school. So what we found out it was that, okay, technology was good enough, but is it really what the school needs? And in that case, we started talking with the teacher together with the reseller to design the devices for their needs. A lot of improvement actually, and few of the devices that you're going to see later, or probably are already familiar with, were coming thanks to the feedback we got from them. Last but not least, everything was done with an eco-friendly touch. We are sustainable, we are very serious on that, we have very good commitment towards becoming sustainable enough to meet all the requirements. What is important to say? And this is something that is something, if you want, new towards the previous year. We are continuing to serve the K-12, in which we have a very good penetration. You saw some numbers before from Max. But we also want to target two different other areas. One is about the laboratories. The portfolio has been enlarged. You will gonna hear more from my colleagues in a few. And very important, the higher education. Why? Higher education is extremely important. They are the generation that is going to arrive in the industry right after. So they need to be digitalized in a proper way, meaning they need to get and to have the understanding on how to use the technology to, be more productive, to be more efficient, to be ready for what the market are asking. So, to have the right skill. That's why it's extremely important to be very close with them. There is another point of information, there is another piece of information I want to share with you. It is about our success story, why I'm bringing that to you. If you remember our 3 words that are in some of the storytelling of this conference are consistency, human touch, and vision. When it comes to human touch, this is something that is extremely important. Despite you talk about your technology is the best one with the best features and so on, people need to have some proof on how to use it. Needs to get inspired about what they can do with the technology. And that's the reason why, since the very beginning, we have invested in success story. And here is the result. In the beginning, we were, of course, investing for the digitalization of the school. Now, we are talking about AI adoption. There are a lot of extremely and excellent examples across all the countries in Europe. Here we're just mentioning 3 of them. And what I wanted to highlight are this sentence, this quote. Why? Because they are very, very important. If you want, we can sum up there here. So what is important is AI supports and empowers. It doesn't replace the teacher, because this was one of the things everybody was afraid of, right? It was like, oh, come on, and now what's happening to me? Nothing, really. It's just more to give you some tools, additional tools. It's not to replace, it's never replacing, it's not possible. We heard before from Gerd, this is not possible. This is still you that take the decision on how to move forward. So the real risk today is not AI. The real risk is doing nothing. And these are not our sentences, these are not our quote. These are the quote of the teachers that experience AI at school. Closing the part of education, we are talking now about SMB. And I said before, we had two half day. We spent 2 half day with our channel partners talking about what's next. So to do that, we actually brought to the stage 3 different few speakers that were presenting different reports, different prospects about how SMB is evolving. So first of all, we touch base on World Economic Forum. I guess you are all familiar. There is a new reporting about SMB that is dated January 2026, a lot of good insights from there. We had the opportunity to have a contest on stage and try to understand where the market is moving forward, so which is the outlook in terms of AI adoption. And then we also had the honor to have on stage a representative of a European Digital Innovation Hub. She was actually bringing some concrete example about what are the needs of the SMB. And last but not least, there was also my colleague from Ecuador that was explaining and giving the opportunity to our reseller to do some proof of concept. What does it mean to do some testing, to do some real example, real adoption of AI in some cases, and then brought the message across all the SMB. Because one of the things that came up from all this discussion was that the SMB needs to have trust in what they bring into their companies. So here I want also to highlight a few of the outcomes we actually got. It was coming from a sum of what we discussed yesterday. So first of all, it's all about skill and training. We always talk about we need to prepare the students for the skill of 20th century. Yes, indeed, but there are already some of the people in the SMB company that needs to be trained. We need to support the SMB in this direction. This is extremely important. We need to make sure that whoever is in SMB, they don't need to be technical people, they don't need to be big experts. They only need to get the information and the skill enough to use all the digital tools that life is going to make available to their company. The migration is not easy, and the resources need to be help to get to this next level. The second point was about try before you buy, and as I was telling you before, trust is extremely important. So whatever we do, we need to keep in mind that we need to prove that the technology is really supporting the development of the SMBs. And then the other point was primarily about the security first. This is something not new at all. You know that security is one of the key elements for whatever investment you want to do for the future. And the last one is about AI-ready talent. As said, again, SMBs that, by the way, in Europe counts for more than 26 million companies, and many of them are solopreneur companies. They actually count for 90% of the total economy of Europe. What does it mean? It means that despite the name small, they really value a lot because they are really the economy of our region. So it's extremely important to make sure that everybody has the right information within the company. And so you say, okay, how do you end up? Yeah, there is another very important topic that is about the local community engagement. For SMB, the engagement with the community, the local community, is extremely important. Is an anchor for the development of the local economy. So, how does it link and how does it fit with Acer? Very simple. To make all this happen, we need proximity. And we do proximity, we actually push proximity thanks to our reseller, so thanks to our channel. So the strategy behind, and I'm back to the point of consistency, looks like being the right one. We are continuing to be 100% indirect. We don't want to move from there because we need to make sure that we reach out to each of the SMBs and school in field together with our partner. They are local. They know the economy. They know how to move forward, and that's the only way to be capable to serve properly our customer. So with that in mind, I just want to give you some highlights. If you were in our conference 2 years ago, probably you know already something, so I'll be quite fast. But here is how we actually are approaching our market. As said, we are 100% indirect, meaning that we go through distributors and then through the reseller to reach out to the end customer. It's quite common to classify the resellers and work with a limited number of them, securing that they know you, securing that they can bring your voice down into the market. And we did it under the label Synergy Partner Program. We also decided to have some verticals, so to have some resellers specialized for each of the market that we are addressing, and this is the case when it comes to education, when it comes to cloud enterprise, and it's going to be even more in the future. Now, with that in mind, which are the programs that we bring to their attention? Well, first of all, let me just mention the Acer Reliability Promise. Acer Reliability Promise is there for a while. What is? Very simple. We bet on the quality of our devices. Was mentioning before about the service, about the fact that it's less than 1% of return. Yeah, what we do here, we simply say to the end customer, okay guys, you get our device, you need to register, of course, your device and serial number and so forth. If you face a problem within 1 year, we're going to replace and refund you. So we are sure that this is something that makes everybody feel comfortable with the adoption of new technology. But that's not all. Of course, we are very close with the reseller. We never leave our reseller alone. So we do a lot of activities to generate opportunity in field. Also bringing an ecosystem of partners, and we did yesterday. So having people talking about SMB from different perspectives, from different angles, so that for the reseller to be inspired and motivated to spark for new business opportunities. The last point is about webinar and tech skills. We're talking about training. Yes, indeed, we have tons of training made available. We always try to be kind of creative, using some short video that we call Telpil, and this is actually what we bring. But the news for today, I'm very happy to announce it, we have a new channel portal for the reseller. Okay, stop talking for a while, and I launch a video. Yep.
Welcome to our new channel partner portal, a single platform that brings together everything you need to grow your business with Acer. Let me walk you through some of its features. In the sales menu, you find a range of interactive tools, including fast bid for instant discounts on available stock, deal registration for opportunities that require customized devices or special pricing, demo request to order sample products, the Acer loyalty program, and more. In products, you can find specifications and compare devices. You can search by part number or model name. For example, if you are looking for specifications of the TravelMate P4 14-inch, simply type P414. From the list you can select one specific model, but if you prefer a wider search, click on the search icon to see the full list of corresponding devices. To view more details of a certain device, click More Info. It opens the complete list of specifications. If you want to compare this device, simply add it to the comparison list. Let's add a few more products to demonstrate how this feature works. We now have 3 products in our comparison list, and it shows all the specifications per model. By selecting Show Differences, the system highlights the variations between the selected models. You can compare up to 3 devices per product category. After you have made your product choice, you can download the price list to see its cost. To empower your knowledge, visit the Acer Academy, where you will find free webinars easily organized by subject. Let us learn more about AI.
Welcome, and thank you for tuning into Acer Tech Pills, your go-to for everything Acer for business.
To easily reach out to your customers, our marketing library gives you access to a wide range of ready-to-use content. Click on Acer for Business Library and find step-by-step instructions on which materials will help you to best reach your audience. For the most important business topics, we have already prepared ready-to-download and customizable assets. The last section, Service, covers all the information you need about Acer's award-winning customer service, warranty extensions, and our online service portal. Are you interested to get access to all these helpful features? ask your Acer contact person how to register to the portal, so you can start taking advantage of all its benefits right away.
Okay, as you can imagine, this was exactly the same video we were showing yesterday to all the resellers. The channel partner is already available in 7 countries and is going to be available by the end of June across all the countries in EMEA. And the good news is that, okay, this is launch and we're already, working on the 2.0 of the channel partner, including several AI, features. Said that, let me come to a conclusion. This is also coming from World Economic Forum. It's not my quote, but I like it a lot, because it says that the evidence is clear. Unlocking the potential of education and SMB through digitalization is not just a business opportunity, I would say, but it is an imperative for ourselves, for our kids, and for the economy in the future. With that, I have the pleasure to welcome on stage the next speaker, that is our alliance partner, Intel, Phil van der Motel.
So a few years ago, we talked about 5 nodes in 4 years and how we were going to drive forward with technology development. And this year, we actually have moved into high volume production on 18A. It uses the ribbon FET transistor, which is an all-round transistor technology. It uses power via technology, which is a back-end power delivery. And this is enabling us to bring a new range of products to market, which are a cornerstone of Acer's products for this year. So, when I look across the Core Ultra Series 3 product range, this product range, also codenamed as Panther Lake, actually brings more designs, more price points, more experiences. What I mean by that is over 200 designs in the market, more price points across mainstream and premium, and more experiences, and I'll touch on what that means shortly. With regards to the cornerstone technologies of our products, exceptional performance, first and foremost, multi-thread, single-thread performance improvements of over 50 to 80%. Enduring efficiency, so we actually have some P&E cores inside the architecture, which allows us to access a low power island and drive much more improved performance and power, allowing us to provide 30% improvements on density and over 15% performance improvements power per watt. We also have leading AI experiences. So by the end of 2026, nearly all of the products we ship into the enterprise space will have or will be an AI PC. And game-changing graphics, the Xe3 core that we have inside our products for this year will actually deliver laptop gaming into the next level. So what does that actually mean? What does these technology or silicon enhancements actually provide? It's going to improve battery life, 27 hours of battery life, up to 77% faster graphics, faster CPU performance, and faster AI performance. And again, I'll show why that's going to be relevant moving forward. I want to also challenge one of the myths around x86 technology and power. And the new products that we've developed with this low power technology island, it actually allows us to deliver 2.8x reduction in power from previous generations. So across the whole fleet of products, we can actually deliver that low power, that long battery life, that experience that consumers, that customers, that commercial customers want to experience. But it's not just about the processor. What we've invested heavily in is not just the hardware, it's also the OS, the framework and tools, AI models and applications. And actually we're investing a ton of resources in each one of these in order to deliver on the promise and the value that AI can bring. And what we're going to do is just spend a little click through on each one of these. First up, the processor, AI powerhouse, Panther Lake, Wildcat Lake, 180 tops, we have over 40 NPU tops. We are still heading down the NPU, GPU, and CPU path, allowing customers, ISVs, partners to actually choose where they would like to run their application across the compute complex. We're also seeing up to 4.3x faster LLMs. why that's important, if you look at some of the models that are being adopted today, whether it's Mistral, Anthropic, you name them, a lot of these models we're taking straight away as they're released and actually optimizing them on a PC. All of these model vendors want to run and want to enter the enterprise, the SMB space, and scale their products into those markets. So we're making sure our technology and the silicon has all the foundations in place to actually deliver that. The second is on the OS side of things, deep relationship with Microsoft. We're now getting the bits, the drivers, all of their models well ahead of schedule for our next generation products to ensure that the out-of-the-box experience with Windows and Intel through partners like Acer is world-class. Scalable deployment. You know, it's also the tools, and the tools need to be available for people to develop, you know, these ISVs, these applications, these features, and I'll talk to a little bit about this shortly. But we're making sure that we're investing across the whole stack. So here, whether it's PyTorch, whether it's Llama, OpenVINO, making sure there's choice for developers to utilize Intel technology and making sure that it's open sourced as much as possible. The next piece is around AI model support. So we're investing tons and tons of engineers, over thousands of software engineers to take those models, making sure that they can be run easily, simply on an x86 architecture, through partners like Acer's devices. Additionally, what we've also done is focused on enabling the ISV community and making sure that their features work out of the box on Intel-based products. This means engaging directly with engineers of other ISVs to make sure that their software is optimized on an Intel-based platform from day one. What I'll also add in here is that one of the things that I found fascinating with Acer is that already they have applications that are optimized on the latest products which utilize features inside the Intel technology, whether it's AI image generator, display lenses, QR capture, the video speed controller. These are pre-loaded Acer applications that deliver AI applications into the market from day one. We're working very closely with them to deliver these into the market. So now you've got OEMs like Acer that have got the capabilities to actually drive AI applications into the market and enhance that user experience. From Intel's standpoint, I mentioned that we're trying to enable that ecosystem. It's okay having some great silicon that's manufactured on the latest lithography node, but how do you make sure those AI applications actually are delivered into the real world? Here you've got a QR code. This QR code actually takes you to a list of all of the AI ISVs and applications that are optimized on Intel today. They've grouped them into 4 areas: productivity, collaboration, security, content creation, local LLMs, and manageability. Now, I think everyone today has got different experiences of AI in the day-to-day world. A couple of my very simple examples are I travel to London a lot, so I've actually got the ability now with one application, I can take a 50-page PDF, drop it into the app, and actually get a 10-minute podcast which I can listen on the way into the office. Great. If I look at one example here, OmniBridge, another great example. They do speech to sign language translation. So, children like my niece who's got hearing difficulties can now, engage in a standard classroom format using some AI that's been developed by some partners. So again, there's some great applications out there. Now what we're doing is committing to the market to make sure that we find these ISVs, we partner with them, we optimize their applications, and we make sure that they're available to businesses, to consumers around the market, because we know that the technology ecosystem is built on partnerships. It's not just about having the best product, that is a key thing, but it's also making sure the ecosystem around you can actually deliver that as well. Now, as most people know, we're heading into this hybrid AI era. Now, from an Intel standpoint, we believe that the PC is going to play a really critical part in this hybrid AI era. I think everyone's read the stories of all the AI infrastructure build-outs that are taking place at the minute, the bottleneck that's taking place on memory that's slowing down certain parts of the market. But what we do believe is that there will be a requirement for a diverse architecture at the edge, whether that's PC, whether that's server, where enterprises can actually choose to run their AI applications, their agents, their models on-prem using their PC or local infrastructure. And there's a few reasons for that. The four main ones are performance. So today, performance and latency will be key. If you've got an AI model and you're an enterprise, you can't keep sending information up to the cloud waiting for it to come back down. You need to have performance local. You already have a compute estate. Today, as I mentioned earlier, enterprise accounts in particular are going to have AI PCs throughout their entire fleet by the end of the year. So how do you utilize those NPUs, that technology, more to drive a better outcome for each company? Privacy and security. I think everyone is aware that obviously the data is really important, but the IP around some of these AI products, devices, applications is going to be key. And we need to make sure that they are private where they need to be, and secure as possible. Additionally, economics. Tokens are expensive. Running those up to the cloud, sending them back down. If you've got the ability to run those tokens locally on a PC device, great. It's a way for companies to monetize their PC estate in a different way. Control. Having control of your estate and your technology is going to allow you to actually deliver a better experience in the market and drive business outcomes which are needed. My final slide, which I'll touch on, is really just bringing it home. So working with Acer, we've now got leading products on our latest technology. We've enabled vPro and Intune and all of the great technologies that are available in the commercial space. We've now got long battery life. We've now got faster CPU performance. We've now got faster AI performance and better graphics. So this is a great outcome for end customers, for partners, for customers, for consumers. Better products, access to more AI tools and features, and a commitment from Intel and Acer to keep innovating and making sure that these products stay in the market for longer and are available to everybody who wants one. And with that, thank you for the time, and I'll hand over to the next speaker. Thanks.
Every breakthrough begins with silence, a moment of focus, a moment of building in the quiet. But in that quiet, inside these fabs, the momentum has been rising. See, quiet doesn't mean stillness, because here, progress never pauses. It pulses, pushes, accelerates, layer by layer, line by line, gate by gate. And now, it's ready to meet the world. Progress never pauses, and neither do we.
Thank you, Phil. Sorry. It was a very interesting speech. I want to stress that now I'm here to facilitate the next speaker, but I want to stress again that the collaboration with Intel is extremely strong, and what you mentioned, Phil, in terms of fine-tuning software to really take the best of your AI architecture, latest one. We are really working together in the quarter at the executive level. There's a very strong engagement. We have a lot of AI products, and I think we know this year supply may need to push us into premium device. For sure, those devices are there to last. But let me introduce the next speaker, because it will be the most exciting part, probably talking about our products. So please welcome Darren and Eileen on stage. We have the opportunity to have our headquarters here from Taiwan. And specifically on Darren, I want to spend just a few words, because this guy is the father of almost all the products you see under the TravelMate and the Chromebook portfolio. You see it, you've been seen in the past years. And it's a pleasure to have you here. And I leave you here the presenter, because I know you have a lot of nice products to talk about. That would be actually the beauty of our today press product.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, man.
So here we are, Darren.
Hi, everyone.
So here we are. So this is a very special moment for me, actually, to be really honest and to be really transparent, because I've had the pleasure to work with Darren.
Over 10 years.
Over 10 years.
Already.
So in product and go-to-market for EMEA, that were my previous roles. We had a lot of discussions, whether that was Chromebook, whether that was Windows. So for me, this is a very special moment.
Yeah, especially the first time we on the stage together, right?
Very much true. Very much true. So today we're going to talk you through the Acer commercial portfolio, and Darren will give some further feedback, some further insights onto what the thought process was, what happens behind the scenes. So without further ado, I think we can start.
Yeah.
Perfect. So for us, for Acer, what makes commercial commercial? These are the 5 pillars where we build all our products around for the commercial market. So for B2B, for education.
As a commercial team, we are always thinking how to keep our TravelMate products durability and the security, and also we are thinking what's the manageability, also connectivity. Also, we push ourselves how to do the product sustainability. That's our mission.
Exactly. So we have a very nice feature that is already out there and existing in our current TravelMate lineup, right?
Yeah,
which is the Dust Defender.
For example, we are trying to thinking what's the performance we can provide to our commercial users. So I learned it from Acer gaming team, which is Acer gaming team push their performance to limit. So that's why we leverage the Dust Defender as a thermal solution from the gaming to TravelMate. Keep our TravelMate performance always as a brand new one for our commercial users, which keep dust away of the device.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we take whatever we learn and whatever we see works well throughout our product lineup, and we bring that to the devices where they make a lot of sense. So today we're not gonna brush through a lot of products because there's too many products to go over. So we made a split, and we decided to start with 2 segments. So fundamentally, studio and developers. We're going to tell you a little bit more on products that we have specifically for those. And we're going to talk about SMB. And I think the SMB part is where we're going to find... It's your favorite one.
Yeah.
And this is also where we're going to find the announcements that we were talking about earlier today. So, without further ado, let's talk about creators and developers. I will start with the workstation part. The workstation part, we have 3 separate, well, they're not that separate, but 3 groups of products. One is Altos, it's one of our sister companies. They're here to stay. They are the big part of everything, So the big part of, let's say, the true heart of the computing. What we're adding to that as Acer is a workstation and the mini workstation. So let's take a look at the new workstation. Here it's all about flexibility and scalability. So this is really a device built for SMB content developers. It's a large tower, so we're at 25 liters. That helps businesses fundamentally streamline their AI-assisted content creation.
Yeah.
Up to Intel Ultra Core 9 processors, and fundamentally this is a device that can grow with the calculation needs with up to 64 gig of dual channel DDR5. And I think this is one of the products that is going to help SMBs work on their AI content, their development, and the use of AI. Another product that we have here is the Veriton Nuke AI. It's very small, very compact, and very powerful. It has dual LAN ports for a secure internet connection at all times. It is very small. It has a Visa mount, so you can attach it at the back of your screen just to make sure that the desk remains clean. And something that is that we added is an optional fingerprint for easy and fast login. So that's the two devices that I wanted to highlight here. It's not just about stationery.
Yeah.
A desktop is great.
Yeah.
What are you going to do if you don't have a monitor, right?
Yeah, goes to the monitor.
So monitors for creators. You are all well aware of the Spatial Labs monitor that we also have here outside that gives 3D content, and I will not spend a lot of time on that except for the fact that our Spatial Labs is featuring both Unity and Unreal Engine support, which is quite unique in this market, in this offering at this price point. What is new here is the Pro Designer series, and I'm going to dive into that straight away with the top-notch product of this lineup. Yes, there is a lineup. This monitor gives you up to 32-inch. It's a monitor that you can tilt, so you can easily use a pen for when you create designs. It has excellent color accuracy. And if you do not want to use a pen, you can use the touch. So it has a 10-point touch screen capabilities. As I mentioned, this is part of a lineup. You will find some of those products in the exposition right behind us. It goes from a 32 6K monitor up to portable devices, portable monitors of 14 and 16 inch. All of that offers a very nice lineup for creators to use with the, for example,
yeah, I cannot wait to have the resource of a new monitor for creators.
Right.
Yeah.
So that kind of ends the designer and workstation part.
Yeah.
Which means that we're up for the SMB part, and this is where we're going to find a lot of exciting things. Your, let's say, I was gonna say father of
not the father. That's my lovely device. Yeah, I offer it to our commercial users. Yeah, so commercial notebook from Acer Heco Design. We always thinking what the security is so important for the users. We are close the extensor TravelMate X and the TravelMate P. Keep a security design always, no compromise. And we also thinking we have a different commercial users, which means we create a TravelMate X for stylish user from SMB, who maybe you looking for the stylish design, we can offer the TravelMate X. And we also thinking about the SMB, some guys, or from corporate level, or from government level, they are looking for the P series, which is a flexible design with the optional solutions inside of the TravelMate P series that we create a TravelMate P for business opportunity.
Exactly. So if you're looking for security and design in your SMB, you're looking for the TravelMate X series. If you're looking for things like upgradability, smart cards, different ports, you're looking at the TravelMate P series. And these are the announcements that we did last year, right?
Yeah, the Acer AI TravelMate already announced last year. Yeah.
That's not what we're going to talk about today, is it?
Yeah, we have our focus in next page.
Our focus on the next page. So today we're here to announce to you that our TravelMate Copilot Plus PC family is expanding. And I'm very excited and I'm very proud.
I'm so excited.
Because this is a global announcement. So I would say maybe we can lift the veil on what we're announcing today. What do you think?
How about your bag?
How about my bag?
Yeah, something hiding inside,
You think?
right?
You think?
Yeah, see,
Okay.
I believe
think
you bring something new
I did.
with your bag.
I did.
Yeah, this is a global announce for Acer TravelMate P4 AI and the Acer TravelMate P4 Spin AI, which is powered by Intel Core Ultra Series 3 inside of the NPU. We can do a lot of job with AI, which this is a reinvent product as a total new design. We also have the new chassis, which is support intrusion alert to keep your data secure. And we also design this new product with the Acer logo of the device, which we call the Acer TravelMate P on the A cover. And also, we're thinking we already have an NPU in the inside of the TravelMate P with Intel solutions. Why not we have a function key, combine key to enable AI features directly, easier, quickly, just click a button, enable AI. That's a very fantastic design from Acer team.
Which makes it super easy to access and
Yeah.
to manage your new device.
Yeah, especially we can see we have a new identity here. You can see Acer TravelMate P, identity for the AI solutions. And we also design the ruggedized LAN port to always connect for your data. But we keep our slim and lightweight design of our P4 AI solutions. Not only that,
You're not going to give it back.
I'm so excited because you can see the keyboard and the touchpad also be designed for user purpose. Maybe you can touch that after this event. Yeah, a little bit.
Absolutely. I think they absolutely are to be seen and to be photographed. They're all exposed outside. That's not it, right?
We not only have a P4, so another secret inside of the bag.
Another secret inside of the bag, so let's take it out.
Yeah, because we have a different users looking for the AI PC, so that's why we also have a P2. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, P2, we also have a new identity for Acer logo. We call the Acer TravelMate P. And we keep our promise, ruggedized LAN port connection. Yeah, to protect your data, always connect. But still, we have the slim design of the P2, no compromise, okay? And we also support a function key to enable Intel Core Ultra Series 3 inside of the NPU to enable more AI usability go through the Acer P series products. Not only lots of new feature, we also design this kind of a product supporting some business asking the smart car, some business maybe they looking for the LTE as always connect solution inside of a P2, 14 and 16 inch. Yeah, we are providing
all in here.
Global announcement.
All of this with the Intel Ultra
Core Ultra Series 3.
Series 3.
Yeah.
Phil mentioned it quickly before, so maybe let's dive into
yeah.
the click to do features quickly.
Yeah, as the Intel Phil just mentioned, Acer engineer team, we are thinking what's the AI scenario we can provide, go through Intel solution, which we have the 4 solutions. The first thing I would like to share with you as an AI generator, image generator. Please give me your hand. Have you ever prompted to have the image go through any AI tools? Raise your hand. Have you ever prompted to have image? I think most of you already do the image generator by cloud, right? Everything your prompt, your idea goes through a cloud. Do you remember what the field say? we can protect your data, your idea locally because we have an Intel NPU inside, right? If you turn off your wires or turn off your connection to internet, you can go through Intel NPU inside and prompt and generate what the image you want. But frankly speaking, sometimes I need to try more times to get what you want the image. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, I think it's amazing all the passion that you bring to the stage today when discussing all these new features and these new products.
And may I have one more feature?
I don't know.
Okay.
One more.
One more. Okay. Display is very useful tools because sometimes we will have this one when I concur with the partners. You know, Excel data is too small. Sometimes do you have this experience? So we can go through ASI display lens to zoom in a little bit. When you concur in the teams, you can get more clearly information, go through this one. And you can go through Acer function key directly to enable function during the concur.
So finally, everything is clear.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
I'm so excited to share everything with you.
I know. There's one last thing that I want to ask you to maybe give some additional information on. The chassis intrusion alarm. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, security was not compromised. Acer TravelMate, we have the bias protection, we have the discrete TPM over years. And we also asking by our customer what's the intrusion alert designed by Acer new chassis, which is a P2, P4. We already have this kind of feature to support, protect your data secure.
Thank you. And that kind of brings us to the end of this product announcement. TravelMate P2, 14-inch, 16-inch, TravelMate P4 with a convertible and a clamshell design, and all of that, including the intrusion alarm and Acer Click-to-Go features. And fundamentally, that brings us from where we were right before this conference to where we will be today, where we have a full lineup featuring Copilot PCs on our TravelMate P series. And I think with that, we have
the all P series with AI ready, Copilot Plus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is where our session is going to end. We will be